Alright guys, please settle down your devices and be quiet during I am demonstrating the tutorial. Okay? Alright, so in the last week, I think I have already released this model on our Facebook teaching group. This is the example of the high poly, high resolution human figure model. So that you can use this one as a reference to finish the anatomy study about your final models. And for this week, the things we are going to do is about to reduce the number of the face and do the retypology of this high poly model. If you take a look about the wireframe, if you take a look about the structure of this model, you can see that it's super dense. It's super detailed because there are so many faces on this model. So it is impossible to use in this one to do the animation or to do the game project. Okay? So for today, our target is to using the add-on and also using some traditional technique to do the retypology of this high resolution model. So first thing is I think you guys need to understand the process about the modeling. Usually, if you are a professional CG artist and your expertise is about to do the model, and also you are very good to deal with the detail, texture, etc. things, here is the traditional process. Probably now, since we have the AI tool, the things will be a little bit different. But I think for the standard workflow will be like this. So first is you will sculpting the detail by using probably such as 3D Code or ZBrush or Blender. Using that to get the prototype of your 3D model. After that, we will using Blender or probably another sculpting tool to do the retypology. The meaning of the retypology is that we are going to reset the wireframe and also the structure of the mesh. So for example, like this one, if you take a look about the composition of the wireframe, basically there is no flow for the wireframe. They are just 10,000 of little mesh composed, and so that we can get the shape like this. But since we are going to use the rigging tool and armature tool to animate this model, so for sure the composition, the wireframe of that one need to have some structure. It has to follow the real human anatomy so it can animate as lively as possible. So this is the result. This is the final retypology model. For sure, during the retypology process, you will lose some detail, but it is acceptable. We can use in normal back or probably texture pen to bring the detail back. But so in the end, the model you will get is a low poly model, but still has a very high resolution, high detail texture. That's the idea about the whole process. So the process, the working flow will be like this. First things we will do the sculpting. We will do using the sculpting software to deal with the detail. And second thing, we will do the retypology. Finally, we will back the normal map, back the 3D detail into normal map, and also do the texture pen and bring everything back to your low poly model. So, although this one doesn't have so many polyface on the surface geometry, but it still can keep high resolution. That's the idea of the whole process. Okay? So once you have such a low poly model, then you are allowed to do animating, you are allowed to do the rigging, and also allowed to do probably the game project, etc. So that's the whole thing. I would say modeling is a very basic technique in the CGI industry. But also, there are a lot of advanced technique inside that. So for today, I hope that all of you, no matter you are going to do the CG industry or not, but at least try to understand the inner logic and also the inner workflow of this whole process. Okay? So first thing, let's take a look about the add-on that we are going to use. I think in the last slide, I have already asked you guys to download and install some add-on. So first things, let's go to Edit, Preferences, and let's take a look about the add-on we are going to use. First one is B-Surface GPL Additions. If you don't have that one, please go to Get Extension and find that one. The B-Surface GPL Addition. This is the first one. That's the default add-on inside Blender. I would say this one actually is not that easy to use, but it's fairly okay. So still we can try that. And probably if some of you prefer to use in this way to do the typology, then you can use that. And another one is the pay add-on. But for now we have 1 month trial, so you don't have to pay that. I think 1 month is quite enough for us to do the typology. So another one is Core Remeasure. So I think you can find that right here. Core Remeasure 1.3 bridge. And if you don't have that one, please go to your Google Word, search this keyword, and find the official website, download it, and install it. So that's the things we're going to use. All right. So once you have these two add-on, the first one, the Core Remeasure, it will show up on the right side panel. You can press N to turn on the right side panel. Okay, and it will be in the button because I have so many different add-on, including Blender MCP, Shortcut VR, 3D Code, etc. So now it will show the latest add-on. It will show up in the button side. And another one is the B surface. So where is that? You can find the add-on under the Edit panel. Under the Edit panel, and there is an option which named B surface. So this is the second add-on that we are going to use. So let's give you guys 2 minutes. Please install these two first. Then we can keep moving forward. Alright guys, so let's keep moving forward. In the last part, if you have already installed these two add-ons on your Blender, you will see them on the right side panel. So now let's get started. So first one, let's choose in the high poly model here. Here is the process. Basically for the body part, which means this area, you can just directly using the add-on to do the typology, like the Core Remeasure. You can just directly using that one to generate the typology model. Then I think the result is pretty nice, so you don't have to change that. But there is a thing, if you want to do a better and also probably a little bit higher resolution, higher detail typology model, then you can split the part to an independent model. Like the hand, you can split them and make them be independent. Also the foot, that's the things you can try to do. And so you can split them first and do the typology independently, so that you can keep more detail and also you still can do some modification. For example, like separate the finger, separate the toys, something like that. Because right now, basically, they are integrated. They are not separated. But anyway, let's try to do that first, okay? Let me wipe out. So let's copy one more. This is the original file. So I need to copy one more file to do the example. So right here, we can just directly using the remeasure to reduce the number of the face. Let's choose the entire model. And then let's go to the Core Remeasure. For this part, I want to reset the typology of the body part. You can just go here to the quote count and to set up the overall number of your model. So probably for this model, I will set as, you can choose in probably 13,000. I think it will be okay. 13,000 is still acceptable for the AAA game, like the Unreal game, like the Resident Evil, that kind of stuff. I think 13,000 it is okay. So let's set this one as 13,000. And for now, since the body, our figure body, basically it's a symmetry model. So we can go to here, MISC, and check the symmetry section. And for now, the mirror axis is X direction. So just check the X direction. So the quote count number is 13,000. And for the symmetry option, the direction is X axis. So once you finish, let's just directly click the remesh button, and you will start to work. Let's just click, and it will start to count. Here is the progress bar, very, very fast. Okay, So once we finish, you can see that this is the final remesh model, and the overall number is under 30,000. Right now, it looks fine. The body part still keep the most important feature. So I think we can just use this one. And if you go to the edit mode, you can see the wireframe. So basically, it's completely symmetric because we have already checked that. So the typology, so the wireframe structure is a symmetric structure. So it looks totally fine. The only thing it's not okay is about the face. The face, it doesn't look okay. It loses all the detail. So for that part, we are going to using manual way to do the typologies. Okay? So although right now it still looks a little pixelated, but it is fine. It's just using Shade Smooth to smooth the surface. So it will be done. So this is the final body retypology. For the hand part, if you want to separate the finger, actually we can do that right now. You can using this part, by choosing the first here and delete the face of each finger, like this part, let's choose the face and delete them. And finally using cap or using F key to refill the open face and separate the finger. So it can be a separate finger hand. But for that part, since it's not the point for this time, so I will skip that part. So please try to finish this part first using the remesh setting, using the core remesher to get a low poly model first. Alright guys, let's keep moving forward. So once you're using the core remesher to reduce the number of the face to get a low poly model, basically the body part is pretty much done. But the things we have to do manually, it will be about the head part. For now, the head loses all the important features, including the eye, the nose, the ear, and the mouth. So now we are going to use the manual way to do the retypologies. We will using two different ways to do the typology for the head. One is the traditional manually way to do the typology. Another one is that we can try to using the add-on BS surface to do that. It will be under the edit panel right here. But I would say, basically, I prefer to using the traditional way rather than using the BS surface. BS surface is a little bit weird. And also, while we are working on the retypology of the face, basically, it's a little bit similar to redo the model. We are going to using the poly editing way to redo the head model. So sometimes probably it will be a little bit annoying, but that's the regular process for the typologies. Alright, anyway, let's take a look. So how can we get the typology, the low poly model for the head? Let's take a look. So first thing, we are going to create a new face on the surface model of the sculpting one. So let's go to edit mode. I'd like to choose the center face, probably this one, the head of the nose. Let's choose this face, press Shift and S. Move the cursor to here. Okay? And then press Shift A, create a mesh. Create a mesh plane. Rotate this one into 90 degrees. Scale down. Probably into the size like this. And it depends on how many faces you want to have. So probably if you want to have around maybe 6,000 or 8,000, you can set the first face like the size of this, just like the size of your nose head. So once you finish that, let's go to here. And we are going to assign some modifier on this model. So probably let's try to using the modifier. First modifier is the mirror modifier, because I want when we are working on the typology on this side, it will automatically do the same thing on the other side. So let's use a mirror modifier. And the mirror object we use, it will be the model itself. So let's go to here, the mirror object, using this drop to select this sculpting model. So now it will automatically reflect to the other side. The second thing is that we can add another another modifier, which named shrink wrap. Let's go to here and find shrink wrap. This one. The function of the shrink wrap is that it can help you to snap your object on the target object. So for example, I want this face can snap to this sculpting model. We can use in shrink wrap to do that. So that once you add the shrink wrap, add a modifier on this model, then we can go to target, click this drop, and select this target model. So now you can see that it successfully be snapped to your model. Okay? And also you can turn on this one on cage so that it will be all the edit. It will just directly show the final result. It won't show you the preview result. Alright, so once you finish that, then we can start to do the typology. First thing is you have to understand the face typology is the most complicated one and also the most important one because all the kind of detailed arrow, it will affect the final animation. So for the typology of the face, it must follow the anatomy of the human being. So here is the point. First thing is, on the surrounding of the eye, it has to be continuously. Just like this one, a couple concentral rings. So that when we open up the eyes, when we close up the eye, it can look pretty realistic. And second thing, the same idea of on the mouth area. For the mouth, on the surrounding ring, it has to be concentral rings. Alright? And on the outside rings, it has to connect to your nose ring right here. So that when you smile or when you cry, for the correct cry and the correct smile, it will show a nature crease on the side of the nose ring. Okay? So that's the idea about the typology of the face. How about the rest part? For example, like the forehead, like the jaw, this part, does that matter? Actually, it's okay. It is okay. You don't have to worry about the typology for this part. If that part is not going to be animated, it's not going to move, then it is okay. Just keep them as a cool mesh. It's kind of cool mesh with four side edge. Then it will be fine. And remember, try to make them be continuously. So that's the key thing. That's the key principle about the manually typology. Let's try to do that, okay? Try to do that in a very fast way. So now let's move this face to the side of the... Wait for a second. Let me turn off this one first. Just turn on. So first things, let's using the snap tool, the vertex control to force this one. Follow the shape of your eye. And also, if you want, you can also turn on the snap tool and turn this one to the snap target as the vertex. So this one is also okay, but usually I will just using the shrink wrap. It will be easier. For that, for this one, sometimes it will snap to some pretty weird places. Okay, let's get started. So now we have put the face to the surrounding of the eye. Let's just quickly extrude. Press E for extruding. E for extruding. Sometimes it will go inside of your model. So we can by changing the offset option under the shrink wrap, we can fix that. You can try to increase the number of here, or you can just directly select all of them. Sorry, wait for a second. Let's just directly move them out. I will turn off that. Okay, so now let's keep moving forward. Let's just move the vertex to here. So the idea is that we are going to extrude a ring polygon model, ring polygon mesh on the surrounding of your eye. At the very beginning, probably it will snap to some weird place. It is okay, it doesn't matter. We can fix that later. Okay, let's turn on that. Sometimes I will just directly apply. The shrink wrap because now I think this one looks okay. So I will apply that and add on the shrink wrap one more time. Alright, let's keep moving forward. So now we have the upper part of the eye. Then let's just try to connect them together. Let's press R and Y, rotate a little bit, and press E for extruding. E for extruding, and make sure they go outside, otherwise it looks pretty weird. If you want, you can turn on the X-ray mode so that you can see your typologies. Otherwise, probably it's very easy to be hid by the sculpting model. So let's just quickly extrude. And finally, now we are going to the end. Let's just directly use the merge tool to merge these two things together. Let's select them, press M key, and merge them at the center. M key, merge at the center. So now, once you finish this part, we can start to adjust the shape of the eye. Basically, I think it's supposed to be like a co-center wing. So let's try to refine that. And make sure it follows the shape of the eye. That's the most important thing. Okay, probably something like that. So once you have this one, then for the other side, it's very easy. That's just using the H selection, hold on your Shift and Alt key, and we can do the ring selection. Now let's just keep extruding. Let's right click and choose Extrude Edge, and press S key to expand it. Alright, so now we have the second layer. How about the inner part? Same idea. Let's just select the ring and then extrude along edge. Scale down. So now we have the second layers. Alright? So I will stop right here. For you guys, please try to use in this way to refine the typologies on the surrounding of the eye. Once you finish the basic typology model, if you want to see the final result, usually we will use in the subdivision modifier to increase the number of the face. So you can press Ctrl 1 so that you will see the final result. This is a smooth one. Okay? So let's just keep moving forward. For the traditional part, I will just using that to finish the nose. So first things, we can try to turn on the mirror modifier and also turn on the bisect options. So that when we are going to extrude the model, for example, let's choose the face right here. Once you select the bisect options, let's choose in the edge here, press E and X for extruding. You can see that it will automatically help you to merge them together. So it's a very convenient option that we can use. So let's try. Let's press E for extruding. Press E and Y for extruding. This is the first side. And then press E and X for extruding. And I want to press S and X. Make sure they are in the middle. Okay, something like that. And now let's use in the vertex editing to edit the shape of the nose. Probably like that. Okay. So now it looks fine. So we need to create the thickness of the nose. So which means this area, we need to have some thickness, right? So let's try to increase the number of the segment right here on the eye part. Also, we can turn on the on-cage option for the subdivision modifier so that it won't be that pixelated. Let's press Ctrl and R, cut one more segment on the middle, on the end of the eye. So right here, I'd like to extrude the face directly. So let's choosing that, choosing this edge, okay? Can you see that? Choosing the edge right here. Then press E and Z for extruding one time. E for Z for extruding 2 times, and E for Z extruding 3 times, just like that, right? E, Z for extruding. So once you finish that, now we are about to do the nose head. For the nose head, right now it doesn't have to be very detailed. So let's just quickly extrude that. Easy for extruding, easy for extruding, easy for extruding. And press S and Z, flatten them to the 0 point. Okay, it will be like this. So basically now we have the rough shape of the nose. How about the nose wing? For the nose wing, I will do that later. But for now, we can just focus on the shape of the nose itself. For the nose wing, I mean right here, this part, and that part, and also the nose hole, we can do that later. After we finish the basic typology of the model, we will deal with that. So for now, we can ignore that part. So let's just keep moving forward, okay? So the next things we can try to use in the add-on to help us to do the typology of the mouse. But just like what I said before, I don't like this add-on, but still we can give it a try. So let's jump to the object mount. So let's go to under the edit panel and choosing B surface. Now we are going to using the B surface add-on to do the typology. So first things you have to choose the base surface. The B surface means base surface. The base surface will be our sculpting model. So let's go to here. Mesh of the B surface, click this drop, select the model. Okay, this is the model. It names sphere 0.005. So once you do that, then we can click this button, initialize, add B surface mesh. So if you have done this, then your mouse icon will turn into a pen icon. It will become this one, the annotate pen. So now we can start to pen the typologies. Just like what we said before, the typology has to be a ring-like, follow the shape of your mouse. So, and we don't have to do both sides, we just have to do one side. So let's draw that. And also, if your computer is powerful enough, you can also choose this one. Add mirror and the other modifier. But for now, I will not do that. So just do one side will be quite enough, and I don't need to do another mirror modifier. So let's draw. So probably this is the first one. This is the first line. Connect to the middle line. And this is the second one. The third one. Okay, just like that. Probably it's not that good though. Let me wipe out this part. Let's do that again. Second one. The third one. And also right here, you can define the number of the crows and the number of the follow. The follow means that for the horizontal side of the sections. So if you increase, here we'll have 2. If you increase this one to 3, here we'll have 3. And if for the crows, it means the vertical segment. So if you set this one as 8, basically on this ring, you will have 8 segments. So once you finish that, let's choosing A surface. It will take for a while, so let's just wait. Okay, finish. But it seems pretty weird, I would say. If you go to, where is that? Doesn't show up. Okay, it doesn't show up. Wait for a second. Let me turn off the X-ray options. Okay, we have the face, but we didn't see that one. Alright, let's do that one more time. Go to the front view, choosing initialize, and start to draw. Probably for this time, let's just draw 2 lines. And let's choosing A surface. Okay, so now it show up right here, but it's just go inside. So it doesn't perfectly follow the shape of our model. Let's take a look. Let's go to the edit mode. You can see this is the face. I don't know why, but it always merged with the original model. Let's go to the edit mode. So press L key and you can select the face. And press P for separate the selections. Let's take a look. So That's height. Okay, so that's it. That's the typology model made by BS surface. So just like what I say, I think this one is not that accurate at all. Although we draw a lot of wireframe, but it still cannot perfect fit with our model. But you can give it a try. We can use this one to get the basic geometry first, and then using our manual way to refine that. So let's give you some time to do the testing of the BS surface. And if you want, you can also check this one, trace smooth, and also the in front, so that the final surface will always show in front of your base model. Let's give you probably around 10 minutes to do this operation. Try to finish the typology of the mouse area. Okay, so I just using the BS surface add-on to create the typology on the surrounding of the mouse. Just like what I said before, I don't think it's a very precise add-on, and the result doesn't look that good at all. So, but at least still we can make a basic typology and then use a manual way to refine that. So now we have that one. We have this one. So that we can just select the face right here, the new one, and choosing the old one as the parent, press Ctrl and J, join them together. So now they will be merged together. Okay? And right now there is a problem because right now these two surfaces, they have the different face orientation. If you go to here and turn on the face orientation, you will see that the face orientation actually they are opposite. So let's go to the animal, choosing the face and press Shift and force them to be on the same side. So now we can have the same direction. We can unify the normal direction of these two faces. So the next things we are going to do. Next things we are going to do is to connect these two together and also refine the shape of the mouse. That's the things I want to do for the next part. Let's unhide everything, and I want to turn off the wireframe because it will block my vision. And also let's turn on the X-ray again so that we can see our model. Alright? Okay, so now let's get started. So first things, we already have the basic shape of the mouse, but it doesn't look good, right? It doesn't look good. On the side, it looks pretty weird, so we have to refine that. Let's go to the edge selection mode, choosing the border edge. For this part, I want this one go out. Okay, let's move them go out and make them follow the shape of the lips. And for this part, for the bottom side, same idea. Make them follow the shape of the lips. Since right now we are going to do an animated model, so here's the thing. If you take a look at our final model, let's take a look. Right here. Here is the final model. Usually we will set an inner space inside the mouse. That's the place that we can put the mouse, tongue, and all the other organs inside. And for the eyeball, it's pretty much the same idea. We will put a hole so that it can put the eyeball. So for the mouse area, actually we don't have to deal with the inner part for now. We just have to deal with the outside part. And make sure the shape of the new typology can follow the shape of our sculpting model. So that's the idea. Let's go to the animal, move this one up, and also here, let's move them up. Try to make sure they can follow the shape of your 3D model. Then once you finish that, then we can just keep extruding the model. So let's choosing them, choosing the edge here. And press E and S for extruding. And for the button sign, same idea. Let's just choosing them. Press E, Z for extruding. Since right now we have the shrink wrap, so it will automatically help us to make to force the model fit with our sculpting model. So now we have the gel. Okay, and how about these two? How can we connect them together? For that part, actually, I would say let's follow the typology of the node. So let's take a look. Right now, the node has many segments, right? It has many segments. So for the leaves, we also need to increase the segment so that they can have the same number. Let's try to do that. So we can just simply using Ctrl and R, loop cut, increase the number of the segment right here, or just like that. And now let's unhide the rest of the part using Shade Smooth to smooth everything. And if you want, you can turn on the wireframe. Go to here, overlap, and click the wireframe, this one. Now we can start to connect them together. Okay, something is wrong because now the middle part doesn't look symmetry at all. We can redo that. Alright, let's try to redo that. So for the mirror modifier, let's move this one to the bottom. Okay, so now it fixed. Sometimes it's just about the sequence of the modifier because we mirror it first, so probably it doesn't follow the latest version of the typologies. Okay, anyway, let's start to merge them together. So for these two, let's choosing the vertex. Or you can use in the field. Let's choosing the edge right here. Let's choosing the edge here. And choosing the edge. Press F key to merge them together. F key to merge them together. Something like that. And how about the side view? Right now it looks pretty weird, but it is okay. We can fix that later. Let's move the edge right here down. I want to turn off the X-ray and let's move them down so that you can see more clear. Alright, something like that. And for the middle, let's just move them inside. It will be fine. And for here, let's merge them together, merge at center. For these two, same idea. Let's just move them to the center. And for this part, we can deal with that later. But for now, I want to move these vertex to here. Give them some space and open up the place for putting the nose wing. Right here, I want to create another one more segment. Oh, sorry. Probably let's redo that. Let's choosing the vertex here and merge them together. Okay, so now we have. It's not a perfect one. Actually, you can see that right now, right here, the edge on the node is not continuously. But we can fix that later because this one is easier to do. Alright, I will stop right here. Now it's around 2:40. So once we go, let's take a 20-minute break until 3 o'clock. Then we can keep moving forward. So before that, please try to finish the model of the mouth and also nose area and also connect them together. Let's take a 20-minute break until 3 o'clock. So once we finish the mouse part, I just apply the mirror modifier because right now I want to see the final shape of the model and also we need to connect them together. So I just apply the modifier. So here is the mirror result. It looks okay, but this part looks a little bit weird because just like what we said before, all the wireframe that has to be continuously. So the idea of this part actually is supposed to be like that. Okay, it's supposed to be like that. It has to connect to here, and also for this part, we have to connect them probably like this. Make sure they can be connected to each other. So that will be the final result that we want to have. If you want to see the horizontal part, we can also draw that. It will be like that. Okay, so that's the things. So how can we do that? How can we finish this part? Let's try to do that. Okay. So next things we are going to do is using the knife tool right here. We can just using the knife tool to cut off this, to cut and reset the wireframe. In order to save the time, still I want this one can be mirror. So for this part, wait for a second. Let's snap to the edge. Let's choosing the face, okay? Let's choosing the face here and delete this area. Press X key, delete the face. Delete the other side. And also probably for some part right now it's not located in the center, so we can using the scale to fix that. Let's choosing all the vertex in the middle. Press SX0 to flatten them, make them go to the middle side. Once you finish that, then we can turn on the mirror modifier again. Let's go to here and add on the mirror modifier. Remember, when you if you want to add a modifier, it has to under the object mode. So let's go back to the object mode and go to add modifier, choose the modifier to add in. And the mirror option will be this box. So let's just add this one inside. So now we have that. We still can change the sequence, so probably at the very beginning, move the mirror to the second part, and the subdivision will be the last part, and the first one it will be the shrink wrap. All right, let's get started. So for this vertex, let's just move that inside, and don't forget to turn on the bicep so that it can help us to merge the model. And if your vertex is not perfect located in the center, then we still can use in this one to fix that. Let's just move them to the other side. It will be fine. They will be merged in the center. All right. Anyway, let's get started. So first things, let's use in the knife tool, and we can using the knife tool to cut off the original wireframe. For this part, while you are working the knife tool, I prefer you guys to turn off the subdivision modifier, because sometimes the subdivision modifier it will make your scenes look very, very smooth. But in the end, if you turn off the subdivision modifier, you will find out everything actually is pretty messy. So in this time, in order to catch the right position, the right location of the vertex, I want you guys to turn off the subdivision modifier. So now we can just using the knife tool to cut off the wireframe and also catch the right positions of your model, of the vertex. Probably you may wonder why we have to cut at the vertex position like this one. We have to cut at the vertex position. Why is that? That's because when we are working on the modeling, or when we are working on the typology, we don't want that kind of floating vertex show like this one. For example, if I delete the edge in the middle, let's delete the edge in the middle. For now, this model, it will have two floating vertices. For this kind of floating vertex is the worst, because for Blender, it doesn't know how to move these two vertices. For the rest part, at least they have the wireframe to control them and to tell them where to move. But for this kind of floating point, Blender doesn't know how to move them, since there is no connection, there's no wireframe in between them. So in this kind of case, we have to avoid that. Let's press X key, dissolve the vertex, remove this kind of floating point. Alright, so now we can turn on, alright, sorry for that, I think I accidentally deleted the face here. Let's just select the wireframe and press F key to fill that again. Alright, so now we have successfully connected these two together. The next part, the things we have to do is to connect here, to the top part, from the top side to the bottom side. So that's the next order that we have to do. Probably for this part, it has more segment compared to the lower area. So let's using the Ctrl and Alt, the loop cut tool, to cut off one more segment here on the vertical side. Sorry, let's undo that. Let's press Ctrl and R, increase one more segment here. Okay, and now we can start to do the extrusion. I prefer to start from here, or you can start from here, but up to you. So probably, let me choose, probably here. Let's press F key, and we can using Ctrl and R, increase the number of the segment. Now on the left side we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5. So let's increase the number to 5. Let's redo that. Ctrl R. Increase the number. Okay, so now we have. And for this part, pretty much the same. Let's use the same idea to do that. Let's just press F key, Ctrl R, 5 segments. We can merge them later. So for now, don't worry about they are separated. Select the edge, F key, Ctrl R, 5. Okay, so now we can start to merge them together. Let's choose in the vertex, press M key, merge and center, merge and center. Just follow this order to do that. Okay, so now it's pretty much done. So the next thing is about to connect the border, the nose and the face together, right? So for that part, I think we accidentally increased one more segment here. We can just go to edge selection, hold on Shift and Alt key, select this part, dissolve the edge. Now we can start to merge them together. Select the two, press F key. Alright, so pretty much done. This part there's something error here. We can fix that later. So please help me to finish this part first, then we can keep moving forward. So now we have the model like this. So the only weird things for now is here. This part looks pretty weird. Let's turn off the X-ray so that you can see more clear, and also probably we have to turn off the sculpting model so that you can see more clear. Okay, this part. This part looks pretty creepy because right now on the size, on the position of the nose wing, there is a hole right here. We can turn on the wireframe. So actually, we can just simply fill this hole. For example, like choosing the edge right here and right here, press F key to fill that. Well, it will look pretty weird because right now this part it's not a continuous wireframe. So usually, probably if I were you, for my solution will be like this. I will connect these two together and make sure this part, it will be a continuous edge, flow edge. And for that part, let's just increase the number of the segment right here. Okay, so that's the idea I will do with this kind of situation. Let's try to do that, okay? So first things, let's just choose the vertex, and choosing the vertex right here, press M key and merge them at the center. So now it has been fixed. But this part we have the floating point. Let's choosing them. Press X key to dissolve the vertex. And also this part there are four. There are four triangles. I don't want to have this kind of things happen. So the things we have to do is to recut the edge flow right here. Increase the number of the segment so that we can get a cool mesh. So let's do that. Let's using the knife tool. Just directly cut because right now we don't need to take care about the vertex position. Increase the number of the segment. For this part, there's a flow point. Let's just dissolve that. Alright. So the last part, we have to turn off the subdivision and make sure it's located on the vertex center. And for this kind of triangle, let's just simply using the X selection, press X key to dissolve the edge, and it will be done. Let's take a look. So now it looks fine. How about this one? Pretty much the same. Using the same idea to do that. And For I think this part, all the segment right here, they are important, so I will still keep them. Otherwise, if they are not that important at all, I will just directly remove them or directly probably merge them together. For example, like this part, probably we can somehow merge them together because they are very close to each other. So we can try to using the merge tool to merge these two together. Let's press merge at center, merge at center, and this one as well, merge at center. Just merge them together, it will be fine. And how about this one? For that one, I will using the knife tool to cut off that. So let's try to using the knife tool. And remember, since right now we are working on animation, so it's not about just single one line, it's about a ring. Oh, that's the problem. The turn off the subdivision will be better. Okay, so now we have it. So in the middle part, let's just directly choosing the edge here and press X key, dissolve the edge. Now we can turn on the subdivision modifier to see the final result. This part still looks a little weird. Yeah, let's delete, dissolve the edge. And for this part, let's just make them continuously. For this part, probably we need one more segment. Let's press Ctrl and R. Let's directly increase the number of the segment here. Okay, connect them together. Alright, so now we have. For this part, let's just directly dissolve that, dissolve the edge. Probably here we have too many segments, so we can somehow for this one, let's dissolve that in order to save the number of the face. Okay, so I think this part is pretty much done. So now the next part, the things we're going to do, here, we don't have the, in the middle we have to connect them together. Okay. All right. So now I think this area is pretty much done. The next part we are going to do is to extend the face and make them connect to the jaw and also your cheek. And the final things we can do is about the forehead, the back head, and also the inner part, including the throat, the tongue, and teeth. So that will be the final part. Let's just keep moving forward, okay? So here you can see that basically, probably this area will be the place for me to put the nose wing. Here and there. There will be the place for me to put the nose wing. So this edge is supposed to connect to the bottom side. That's the things we have to do. So let's try to connect them. This part is fine, they are connected, but this part doesn't have. So the next things we have to do is to connect them together. Let's go to the edit mode. Choosing the edge selection mode. For this one, probably we have to extrude. And then just using manual way to merge them together. Okay, so now we have. This one is a continuous edge now. For this part, same idea. Let's choosing the edge. Press E for extruding. Select the vertex. Select the vertex, merge them together. How about the last one? For the last one, I think this part, since it's not about the nose wing, so it doesn't have to be connected. For that part, we can just directly extrude it. So the next things, the next area, let's just select the border. And if you need, you can turn on the sculpting model now. I will turn on the sculpting model. And let's turn off the wireframe. Turn on the X-ray buttons. Let me wipe out the notations, otherwise it's hard for you to see. Okay, so now let's start to do the extrusions. So for this part, very simple. Let's just press E for extruding, and the shrink wrap will help us to snap to the model. Press E for extruding, E for extruding. Okay, just like that. And how about the middle part? For this part, we can fix that later, so don't worry about that. We can just simply, by dragging the vertex to the center, and then will be merged together. Okay, simply by merge them together, move them to the center, they will be merged. So next part about the neck. Let's try to select them. And press E for extruding, E for extruding, extruding, extruding. So it will be done. Okay, just like that. And for the forehead, very simple. Because for the forehead, it won't move at all. Basically, unless you want to create kind of forehead crease, otherwise this part won't move at all. So you can just simply select the upper part and press E for extruding, E for extruding. Just keep extruding, it will be fine. Alright, just keep extruding, it will be fine. And for this kind of stuff, they just move them to the center and you will be done. Here is the same, just move them to the center and it will be done. For this kind of stuff, for the ear part, basically for the ear part, if you want to do the retypology of the ear, I will suggest you make them be separated. So for example, I will using the edit mode to cut off the model here, and probably for this part we can just simply using quote mesh to do the retypology. We don't have to do the manual typology for the ear. Or in this time, I think you can try to download some asset. Actually, I'd like to provide you a model, an ear model, so that you don't have to redo the retypology. So you can use, if you want, you can use in mod. You can just directly use this one and connect this one to your head model. So you don't have to do the head typologies. All right, let's take a look about the result for now. Okay, so basically for the front side, it's pretty much done. And the last thing is we have to do is about the jaw, the back head, and also the full part of the neck. So, and also we will leave some place for putting the ear. Let's give you some time to finish this part, then we will keep moving forward. So for now, you can see that no matter it's about the surrounding of the eye or it's about the surrounding of the mouth, basically they are a continuous and a co-center rings. So right from here to this side, and also from here to the surrounding of the eye, basically they are a continuous ring. So that's the result we want to have, so that when we are going to do the animating for the face expression, it can look like a lively creature, lively human beings. Alright, so for the back head and also the neck, it's relatively simple, so we can just quickly finish that. For that part, I will start from here, make them go slowly go to the back side and finally connect to it in the middle. For the neck, it will be the same. And for the ear, I will leave this part as a whole. So for that part, we can deal with that later. And about the top side of your head, we can, once we finish the surrounding, then we can just quickly merge them together. So that will be the last part. So let's start to do that, okay? First thing is choosing the edge right here. I think for the rest of the part, it's pretty simple. After we finish the face part for the back head and also the neck, they are pretty simple. Let's just quickly finish them. Press E, Y for extruding. And E, Y for extruding. Just keep extruding, 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 and finally go to the back side. Merge them together. So that's it. That's about the back side. Okay. And for the neck, it's pretty much the same. Now I want to turn off the X-ray. We can actually hide the sculpting model because right now we don't need to use that. Let's choose that. Choosing this one, that one. Okay. Once we have, let's press E for extruding, and it will automatically help us to snap with the model, so you don't have to worry about that. But the only things we have to take care is that the number of the segments is supposed to be the same. So for that part, probably we have to take care of that. This part right now is a little bit declined, so let's change this one to a vertical line. Let's press S and Y, press 0, and make sure they are in the same level. Okay. Alright, let's just do that. Select them. Press E for extruding, E for extruding, E for extruding, and finally merge them together. So it has been done. For that part, we can fix that later. For example, let's just move them to the side so it can be the separating line again. Alright? And how about the middle? For the middle, very simple. Let's just quickly using the technique we have done before. Now, take a look about the side view. Here we have 3 segments. So in the middle, it's supposed to have 3 segments. And for this part, I will use that to put the ear. So I don't want to do anything right here. Let's choosing the edge, then press F key and Ctrl R to create 3 segments. And for this part, pretty much the same. Let's press F key and Ctrl R, 3 segments. F key, Ctrl R, 3 segments. Let's just repeat doing this and finish the model. For the middle, right now you can see that the upside and the bottom side, it doesn't seem like have the same number of the segment. But it is okay. Let's just choosing the large chunk and connect them together first. For this part, probably we can delete the edge right here. Let's choosing this part, press X and dissolve the edge. Ctrl and R, increase the number of the segment. Okay, so now we have. How about the upside and how about the middle? Let's just press F key, Ctrl R, and increase the number of the segment. We can do that later. After we mirror it, so that we can do that later. Now let's start to merge them together. Go to the vertex selection mode, press M key, merge at center, merge at center. Right? So now we have it. Basically, we have pretty much finished the entire head. Just like this. And how about the upper side? For the upper side, very simple. Just using the same idea to do that, then fit them. That will be done. Let's give you some time to finish this part, then we will keep moving forward.